We are asking you this morning then, is Southgate the right man to lead England into Euro 2024? A lot of you already been getting in touch, so thank you very much. This is from Steve. Southgate's got to go. We have some of the best attacking players in the world, but playing with shackles. And so Steve thinks it's got to go. Also, Scott's been in touch. Thank you. England were the better team, but looking at it as a whole, they didn't break them down. Would have taken 2 penalties just to get the draw. Southgate, a.k.a. Mr. Reactive, got to take the blame. I mean, there's some points there about maybe being reactive rather than proactive. And I was surprised that he took Bukayo Saka off because I thought Saka was having a brilliant game. And also, we mentioned prior to coming on air, bringing Jack Grealish on with barely any time. I'm not quite sure what the purpose of that was, because if you're chasing a game, you got to be more reactive than that. And I say reactive, you got to be more proactive than that. So there may be moments we can judge Southgate on, as we have done previously, and wonder some of the decisions that were being made in that game. But ultimately, I still think, what England did out there on the pitch last night, I think was far superior to France. It's just those couple of moments that just went against England, and ultimately that's where I feel about the whole situation.
I commentated on the Japan-Germany game early in the tournament, and I was amazed how many substitutions the Japanese coach got right, and literally called everything that he did change the game.
Well, they were complete game changers, weren't they?
Exactly. Now, Jack Grealish, if you're going to use him, you want to give him time.
Yeah.
The last thing you don't want to do is just put him on just to see the clock down, or give him 2 minutes. Jack Grealish is a type of player that I think you need to give at least half hour. Now, again, substitutes have played a huge part in this tournament. We've seen lots of outcomes with subs coming on, okay, that have enabled teams to get a result. Certainly, you could say that when England beat Iran, the subs that came in done really well, made the ultimate difference. But then they've won the game really comfortably, 6-2. And I think the second half against 3-0 against Wales, there was a number of substitutions that worked well for England then. There's loads of things you can say, and we can all sit here and literally dissect everything about what happened last night. There were some worrying things. The one that got me was the Giroud goal, because I thought, that cannot happen. Whatever a centre-half needs to do, he does not let Giroud get across him. Now, it happened, and England paid the ultimate penalty. They got a goal. So there was things that got to me. Let's say, as in these are small details. But if you're going to win in the biggest events, small details have a huge impact into what you achieve.
Could there also be an analysis of why England have been such slow starters in games? Traditionally, in most of these matches in Qatar.
They seem to want to feel their way into the game, size their opponent up, move the ball out the back quite often, and not with any purpose early on of getting goals. We talked yesterday about the Brian Robson goal back in 82 where he scored after 30 seconds. Yeah. England don't look like going to score in the early part of the game. Very often they might have done other games, but they don't look like they're going to.
Well, so many times we've talked about it when we're talking about Premier League matches, for example, and you've always said numbers in the box. That's what you need. If you're going to score a goal, you need numbers in the box. And that's now something I'm always closely looking at and thinking, how are we going to, from my own team perspective, but also other teams as well. And there were times in that first half that there was nobody around to help anybody out. Kane was
generally, but then there were times where he dropped deep.
So deep at times, which has been a source of frustration for a lot of people, that he's playing in that deeper role. But then that's what he's developed into.
I got into this habit years ago where I kept looking at how many people get in the 18-yard box when a goal is scored. And you tend to find there's no coincidence. When teams get a lot of bodies in the box, it causes distraction, other people lose markers, and teams score. If you want to watch your team and your club team, not just international football, and you don't score very often, look at your pictures, get the picture frames of your team when they're in attacking situations. And I guarantee you, Nat, most teams that don't score many goals have a lack of numbers.